you're looking for some puppy love, look at this. It's your lucky day. Kimberly White Erlinger, volunteer with Austin Animal Services, is here with Oscar, a precious boy who is looking for his forever home. Kimberly, good morning. You're getting some good snuggles.
Can you believe this? Yeah. I think he's just like, you know what? Let's just hug it out, because he is such a little love bug. I'm so happy that he did that right as we went on the air.
Yeah,
he's such a cutie.
And he's a very curious boy.
He is very curious.
Tell me a little bit about him.
So this is Oscar, and he is about 3 years old. And the worst part of his entire story is that he has been at Austin Animal Services for well over a year.
Which is sad.
It is
a long stay
sad.
now.
He's a very long stay dog, and I found notes. Volunteers leave notes about the dog's behavior, temperament, things like that I wrote back in June of 2025. So it's been close to 400 days.
Because he's one of your regulars.
He's one of my regulars.
Walk pretty often.
Yep.
You've got really high opinions of him.
Oh,
and
I love him.
Not only that, but when he goes to fosters, he does really well.
Yes. He has another volunteer who is one of his BFFs. She has taken him home for sleepovers, and she sent me 8 texts this morning that were just bullet points of all the wonderful things he did when he spent the night with her a few times. And it was the sweetest story that she crafted. Basically, she said it took him about a day to get settled. You know, he's very curious, wants to look around and check things out.
Sure.
But then right at 24 hours, she said he just started cuddling and sleeping and resting, and he has a beautiful mix of independence and also wanting to be close to his person.
Yeah.
He loves to walk. She took him on a lot of walks, and I just told you the story right before we came on the air, but she was having dinner with a friend on her picnic table in the backyard, and he got up on the table and just kind of fell asleep next to them.
That is so
and
sweet.
It's just so sweet. I mean, and he did.
Because I think a dog like this, he's going to get up there and he's going to demolish all that food.
Well, exactly. And since he's a lab mix, labs, all they want is food. So as you can tell, he's put on a little bit of weight. So there's your lab right there.
He's on a bit of a diet at the moment.
He's on a bit of a diet. Hi, my love. So this is the Oscar that I was just talking about. He can be curious and independent, and yet then he just wants to be with his human. Isn't that the sweetest, most cuddly thing? I mean, he's so darling.
He's looking for hugs.
He just wants hugs. I just love this dog so much.
And anything we should know about the perfect home for him?
He likes to go hiking. I don't know if we have time to show it or if it's easy enough to show it, but we do have video of him going on greenbelt hikes. And so he's an active dog. When I take him out, he loves to run around the play yard, but then he also just likes to calm down and enjoy his toys. Right now, he's in kind of a new environment, so I'm not sure how much he's going to calm down. But he's kind of an every dog. What
do we know about him and other dogs, for example?
He has been with other dogs before. He came in with another dog, and they were paired for a little while. She was adopted. As I always say, a well-matched dog, please bring any dog in, check, get in touch with our behavior team. Let's do a meet and greet and make sure that it's working out for everybody, because he is curious about other dogs, and I think he would do really well with a well-paired, well-matched dog.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about what your needs are right now, because it's summertime. People have a lot of flexible schedules going on. That means they're out of town more often.
Right.
Are you looking for fosters volunteers?
Desperately, yes. Fosters, adopters. With fosters, we are asking for a 2-week commitment. Please come in anytime between 11 and 7. Fill out your application online. And most of our dogs are foster eligible. So please just come down, and if you can commit to 2 weeks, oh my goodness, that makes the hugest difference. We've got a negative 52 52 public kennels for dogs.
Wow.
So we're lacking that many.
So you're in a crunch.
Yeah, we are in a big crunch. We've got dogs in crates, in hallways, up and down, throughout the shelter. And these dogs are getting 2 and 3 walks a day. It's just not enough. We need to get them out of there. Yeah.
And they need a chance to show a foster their personality.
Exactly.
Because those notes come back and they're really helpful.
They're crucial. They are so crucial for us that oftentimes the foster notes are the only notes we have.
Yeah.
Unless a volunteer turns in a note. But that's not always easy. So
but seeing their full personality,
yes,
it's being
home.
In a home.
Right.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
may say, this dog isn't great in an apartment. But, you know, at my friend's house with the backyard, he was fabulous.
Yeah.
Those are things that are really helpful to know.
Important
So, hey,
stuff.
buddy. Yeah.
And we've got Bissell Clear the Shelters starting tomorrow.
I believe it starts tomorrow
Tell
and
me
it goes
about that.
through July 26th, so it's a good amount of time, and that's 11 days. They've done this for several years, and they are so generous. They're allowing us to drop our adoption fees to $50, which is a good discount. He wants to go. Oh my goodness, he wants to go play with something. Here, play with your little ducky. Play with your little swan thing. He's like, okay, now I'm going to give you kisses.
can
Oh
play
my
with
goodness,
me.
no.
That's okay.
Oh no. Oh, she's got such a pretty dress on. And so we're dropping the adoption fees to $50, which is a really large reduction, and they're donating $20 back to us, to the shelter, for every dog, and $10 for every cat.
Amazing.
So it's a perfect time to come get your buddy.
Okay, that sounds good to me. We'll leave it as here. And Oscar did a good job. He was a
did.
good boy.
He's a great boy. He's so friendly.
For more information on adopting Oscar, visit austintexas.gov/animal services. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Rosedale Acupuncture and Wellness. Just a few blocks away, but it's a big and beautiful difference. We're coming to you from the new Rosedale Acupuncture and Wellness, now just off Burnett Road. Dr. Lucas Brown is going to tell us more about the new space. And first of all, Dr. Brown, congratulations on the move.
Thank you. Yeah, we moved just 4 blocks north, 5118 Burnett Road. So basically from 45th to 51st and Hancock, right there. So a lot larger space, and beyond that larger space, we have a larger parking lot. And so honestly,
Good news.
yeah, we have more rooms to help people, more room to add in more types of therapies to help people. You know, we've gotten rid of that constraint of space. But I think what everyone really loves the most is the parking lot, which, you know, in Central Austin is hard to come by.
Looks beautiful now.
Well, thank you.
You guys are doing things differently here. Talk to me about what we can experience in the new space.
Absolutely. So like you mentioned, it's a lot larger space. We have more treatment rooms. We have rooms for plans to add in a recovery suite, a contrast room with cold plunge, infrared therapy, saunas, the works really when it comes to that. We're now a platinum stem wave provider. We are also adding in an EMS chair to help with pelvic floor health. And then there's a lot more we have coming down the pipeline as well.
Talk to me about the sorts of patients you treat.
Sure, we treat a wide variety of patients, but mainly it's patients that are dealing with chronic pain. The type of patients that have tried everything else and maybe they have almost given up hope that there's nothing really that's working for them, and then they maybe start to try to blame themselves. They think something's wrong with them. But those are the types of patients that we see, and we tend to be the last resort with the best results.
And you're creating a training center, is that right?
So with a bigger space comes a bigger vision, perhaps. But definitely my goal for this facility is to not only help patients here in Austin, but also provide a place for other acupuncturists and allied health professionals from around the country to come to and to learn different therapies and brush up on their skills so that they can help patients across the country. My goal all along has been to help as many people as possible, but I'd say one of the most rewarding parts of the job is when people are able to go and do those things they weren't able to do again, you know, like hiking, gardening, getting on the floor with their grandkids, going on vacation. It's really about the quality of life, and you know, those are the kind of wins we celebrate, and that's what I really love about my job.
Sounds good to me. Dr. Brown, congratulations.
Thank you.
Come see the new location in person at 5118 Burnett Road. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Rosedale Acupuncture and Wellness. Welcome back. Have you had some time out of the workforce and you're struggling with a plan for re-entry? Laura Niebauer specializes in helping folks, especially women, relaunch their careers with confidence. She's here to tell us more about who she helps and what she offers. We're happy to have her. Laura, good morning.
Hi, I am so excited to be here.
Let's talk about your background and your specialty in helping people get back into the workforce.
Yes, so I actually worked in HR and recruiting for a little over 15 years before I took my own career break. And I became a mom, and then when I looked to return, I realized how challenging it is. Not only was I dealing with a career break, but I didn't want to return to the exact same thing I was doing, and I had new priorities and responsibilities as a mom, so it was challenging to find positions that met me where I was at. And then 2 years ago, I decided if I was having all this problems finding a job, which I eventually did. I landed 2 job offers, but it was always in the back of my mind that I can help other women. And so 2 years ago, I stepped back again, and I have started working one-on-one with other women.
That's incredible, because for so many people it does make more sense to stay home for a couple of years because the finances of sending kids to daycare is just really steep.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
so we are dealing with people who might have taken a break, or for whatever reason you're dealing with a sick parent or a sick child, something like that, and then you need to come back. It is really difficult to get that re-entry, and that's not the only problem that's happening right now. There are some other pain points out there in the workforce.
Yes. AI. I'm just going to say it.
So get it right out there, girl.
AI is changing the landscape of the hiring process. On one side, you have employers who are using AI more and more in the hiring process. On the other side, you have job seekers using it more and more in their job search process. But it's not working the way that either party wants it to, and it's just leading both parties to get frustrated, and it's eroding trust. And so my big thing is you want to get around AI as much as you possibly can if you're looking for a job. And the biggest way is to make human connections as quickly as you can.
Okay, so human networking, that's a big one. Let's talk about what someone should put on their resume after being out of the workforce for any period of time.
Yeah, so that's always a big question of what should I put. So my first tip is treat it like you would your other work experience on your resume. Give it a title, give it the dates, and then list 2 to 3 bullet points that speak to the roles that you are applying to. And so people are like, okay, yeah, great, but what does that mean for me? And so that's where we have a conversation about what have you been doing? And sometimes I'm met with, oh, I haven't really been doing anything. I'm like, oh, yes, you have.
You've been household managing.
Yes.
You've been doing lots of things.
You've been doing a lot. And so I have a little framework I like to use. 1 bullet point, if you've done any type of volunteering, if you've done any contract freelance work, even helping out a friend with their business, that is impact. That is experience. That can be 1 bullet point. Another bullet point could be if you're upskilling in any ways, which you probably should be if you've been out of the paid workforce for a bit. Things have changed. That shows that you're keeping current. And another tip is to join professional associations in the area that you want to return to. Because when you say, I'm an active member of, that shows that you're keeping current and you're forming great connections while doing so.
I was going to say, and then that gets to your human networking piece.
Yes.
That's the one-on-one face conversation that can lead to a job pretty
Yes.
quickly. Okay, how does someone explain their career break?
Yes. Oh, another great one. So a lot of people wait till they're asked the question, and I say no. You want to get in front of it because you want to play offense, not defense. When you're asked that question, you're automatically kind of put in a spot of like, oh, I have to explain myself. They're judging me. Instead, you get in front of it. So if, let's say you're in an interview. A lot of times you're asked, tell me about yourself. Run me through your resume. Some version of that. So go ahead.
Overwhelming question to start
Yes,
with.
right. You're like, where do I begin? Do I begin in childhood? But as you are nearing the end of that question and you're getting into the career break section, you simply address it in 3 easy parts. 1, you acknowledge the fact that, yes, you've taken it. It can be as simple as saying, yes, I intentionally took a step back from the paid workforce to focus on family. That's all you're saying. Don't go into more detail. A lot of people are like,
That's
well,
easy.
now I have an 8 and a 7-year-old and they're ready. I'm like, shh, shh, shh. Next is talk about something you did during that time that could relate to the position, such as during that time I had the opportunity to help run programming at Pine Forest Camp, where I ensured that campers and their families had an exceptional experience. And then the third point is to tie it back to the company. So let's say I was applying for a position at St. Louis House, a nonprofit here, in Austin, you could say, which is actually what drew me to this position, because I know how much your company wants to provide an amazing experience for parents and their children in this transitionary time.
Yeah.
So you've hit all the bullet points. You took it, what you did, and the fact that it relates to the position.
I hear the confidence when you're talking about it.
Oh, you have to have
you
confidence.
bull by the horns instead
Oh,
of
yeah.
coming the other way around.
For sure.
And then how does someone even begin their job search? I think this is the biggest hurdle, really.
Yes. So the first thing is probably not as obvious, is that you need to be very clear on what you want. One of the worst things I see people do is like, I'm open to anything. But when you say that, that puts the pressure on the other person to figure it out for you. Well, what do you want? Well, and this is back and forth. If you're very clear and you say, this is what I'm looking for, then people are more apt to be able to help you. And then concurrently, you should be forming and nurturing connections. And one of the worst things to do is wait until you need a job to start reaching out and forming those connections. Those should be done throughout your career break, just pretty much throughout your entire life. And that doesn't have to be complicated. It can be checking in every 6 months, just how are you doing? You want to meet for coffee, or you want to hop on Zoom. People are much more likely to want to help you if they don't feel like they're being used.
Yeah.
So those are the two big things. And I will say that a lot of people do apply online, and my biggest tip there is do not just apply online and wait. Immediately find who the hiring manager is or who your best approximation is, and send them a personal email addressing a pain point that you've noticed that that position has, because all openings are there to solve a problem, to solve a need. And your job is to show up as that solution as soon as you possibly can.
Okay, and just real quickly, what are your services and how can we learn more about working with you?
Yes, so I do work one-on-one with clients, and I have my website, lauraniebauer.com, as well. You can find me on LinkedIn. I also offer job search workshops, so I partner with the Austin Public Library. And so the next one coming up is August 15th.
Okay, sounds good to me, Laura.
Awesome.
Thank you so much
Thank
for your
you.
expertise. We appreciate it. Learn more about her services online at lauraniebauer.com. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Resolution Eye Care. According to the National Eye Institute, over 20 million Americans experience the symptoms of dry eyes. Joining us now is Dr. Sean Matsumoto, an optometrist at Resolution Eye Care in Austin and Round Rock, to talk about a new high-tech treatment that's available called Envision. Dr. Sean, we're starting with the causes of dry eyes. What might be some of the reasons people experience this?
Yeah, so there's actually a lot of causes for dry eyes. It can be computer screens, it can be autoimmune conditions, inflammatory conditions, medications, and especially in Austin, you can experience allergies. The majority of my patients actually have this condition called meibomian gland dysfunction, which is a type of condition that can cause a lot of blockage in those glands. In your eyelids, you have these tiny glands called meibomian glands that produce and secrete oils every time you blink. Those oils are responsible for coating the front surface of the eyes so that the tears don't evaporate or break apart really fast. What can happen with meibomian gland dysfunction is that those oil glands can get blocked up, and it can cause internal pressure buildup, and it can start to eat away at those glands and disappear. And so that chronic form of dryness is what a lot of people, about 86% of people, are struggling with.
Can dry eyes cause other problems like infections?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So symptoms of dryness include burning, redness, itching, tearing, light sensitivity, fluctuating vision, blurry vision, right? And on top of that, like you said, infections, super common. I'm sure you've seen a couple of people before with styes or bumps on their eyelids. You may have had one yourself. That is pretty much an infection of those glands that we just discussed.
What can people do to reduce these symptoms?
Yeah, so a lot of people say, use artificial tears or do blink exercises, but to me that's just a band-aid solution to the problem. What we really want to do is find out the root cause of the problem. So it can be what we just discussed before, the autoimmune conditions or inflammatory condition medications, and figure out what exactly is going on with the dryness, right? The Envision treatment actually that we have in our office is probably one of the best treatments out there right now because it tackles a lot of the root causes of dryness. And what it is, it's a light-based therapy that uses heat and light to help with the inflammation around the eyelids, bacterial overgrowth.
Let's talk about how many treatments are required for someone to use something like Envision.
Yeah, so we recommend about 4 treatments, each with about 3 to 4 weeks in between. Here at Resolution Eye Care, we call it the eye spa because we make you feel nice and comfortable, give you some tea at the end every single time. And so the idea is we have you back every month or so and get you the best effect. Now, I've seen contact lens wear time improvement, sty reduction, and just overall symptom improvement. So super, super great. One of our wonderful team members can help you out.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Doctor, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Learn more at resolution.vision. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Resolution Eye Care. With so many new smart products coming out every day, it can be tricky to know what's actually worth it when you're looking for an upgrade. Alyssa Bergamini and Ashley Howard are standing by with the best products at the best prices in this week's Epic Discounts from consumer resource bestreviews.com.
Welcome to Epic Discounts by bestreviews.com. I'm Alyssa Bergamini.
And I'm Ashley Howard. And if you are ready to save big, get your phones out and scan that QR code.
That's right. This week we have products that will make your life a whole lot easier. And we're all about leveling up your home tech. And trust me, you're going to want all of these items in your home.
First up, the Shark Stain Striker Rug Cleaner. This thing is a powerhouse. It's designed to remove tough stains, pet messes, and everyday spills from carpets, rugs, and upholstery.
Not only does it help clean up messes, but it also eliminates odors. So if you're a pet owner or just have a really busy household, this will keep your home looking and smelling so fresh.
Next, say goodbye to tired eyes and dark circles with the Philips Eye Massager. This soft airbag compression plus gentle vibration massage targets pressure points around your eyes and temples.
And Ashley, I love an eye massager. Plus, it holds a consistent, gentle warmth at 113 degrees for a soothing compress that really fully relaxes your eyes. So if you're staring at screens all day, working overtime, or hey, maybe just staying up late, this one is for you.
Alyssa, we know all about that life.
All about it.
And this summer, if you have plans to go on a camping trip or maybe a hiking adventure, make sure that you bring this Anker portable power station along with you. It can charge up to 80% of your device in less than an hour.
Plus, it's lightweight and easy to carry. Honestly, it's a great item to have at home. Power outages, they are unpredictable, and this gives you peace of mind that you can keep your phone and other important devices charged no matter the situation.
Now, if you have a tech enthusiast at home like me, you are going to want this for sure. The DJI Mini 4K drone. I'm so excited about this one if you can't tell. You can capture moments from above with this beginner-friendly drone, all without even needing to register it for the FAA for recreational use.
Sunrises, sunsets, night scenes, capture it all in crystal clear 4K resolution. This is a kind of gift that gets remembered. Ashley, I might be getting this for you.
Don't threaten me with a good time. All right, let's take one last look at today's products, helping you save money.
Head to epicdiscounts.com or just scan that QR code to scan, shop, and save with Epic Discounts by Best Reviews.
Best Reviews is owned by our parent company, Nexstar. You can find more on the products mentioned and where to buy them by going to our website, kxan.com, and clicking on the Marketplace tab.
Best known for co-founding big brands like the John Paul Mitchell Systems and Patron Spirits, on top of proudly being an Austinite, John Paul DeJoria recently released his memoir, Success Unshared is Failure, and he joined us right here in studio to unpack it all, so take a look. Joining me now is entrepreneur, philanthropist, and author John Paul DeJoria. John, I'm so excited that you are here. How are you?
It's my pleasure, sir. Thank you for having me on your program.
Yes, of course. So your brand new memoir, Success Unshared is Failure, is out now. So Why now? Why do you want to write this?
Well, it's taken me 2.5 years to write this, and my motivation was this. People have been asking me for years, JP, what you did in 1980 to start Paul Mitchell with no money, no nothing, and then Patron 9 years later, knowing nothing about the industry whatsoever, but still being a big success. Can you still do it today? If so, how did you do it? How do you get money when you have no money? How do you sell a product when you have no money to make it? How do you promote it? How do you get into an industry you know nothing about? So I said, you know what? It is a good story, but more important, it shows people today, and they need it more than ever, that America still works. Can you do it? You can do it easier today. There's so many great things happening in America if you know how to happen. So my story shows you exactly, not just my life coming from nothing, you know, and all of a sudden achieving the American dream, but it still works today. And it's step for step how to do it. That's what people wanted to know.
Yeah.
And along the way, things that people don't know that I want to expose. How can a high school graduate be one of the guys that flew into Libya to convince Omar Gaddafi to release the 2 suspected terrorists of Pan Am Flight 103 to go on trial? That was me. And I'm not an agent of the CIA or FBI. It was all these things. How in the world did that happen? But how can you do it today and still be nice and spiritual about it?
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. So I did it as my gift to the world, and it took me 2.5 years. It was hard. I'd never written a book before.
Yeah.
But we got it done.
Well, what I think is really cool is like this kind of overall message that you just spoke to. The way you got there is just this incredible, beautiful life journey that you've had, right? And I want to back up in time because throughout the book, you share a lot of really vulnerable stories and things that you've experienced in life, right?
Oh, failures galore.
Right. One thing that really stuck out to me, though, was talking about being raised by a single mom. I had that shared experience as well. And, you know, a lot of people at home do, too. A lot of us grow up in single parenthood homes.
Correct.
The family dynamic is changing a lot over the last few years. How impactful was being raised by a single parent for you? And what was your relationship like with your mom? And then maybe even like, how did that kind of, you know, impact the way you moved through life as you grew up?
Great question. We came with nothing. We had a deadbeat dad, left before we were 2 years old. My mother had to work really hard, was even ill for about 4 years. So we were in a foster home for a while and got to see mom every other weekend, sometimes every weekend. But my mom was so positive. She would do little things like have a little teeny piece, maybe 2 ounces of filet mignon, and cut it in 3 pieces for my brother and I and say, boys, this is how people have a lot of money to eat, called filet mignon. So we eat just like the people have lots of money. We never had a TV, so we didn't know what the other side looked like. She'd do things like that. And God, I know at 6 years old, she'd take us down to downtown LA. I was 6, would that be 1950? And they'd have trains, merry-go-rounds downtown LA, even a little choo-choo to get you there. I mean, it was really cool. And there was a guy ringing a bell, and he had a red bucket. She told my brother and I to hold this little dime and put it in the bucket. We said, Mom, that's 2 soda pops. This is 1950, 3 big candy bars. Why do we do that? She said, boys, that's the Salvation Army. There are people that have no food and no place to live. It helps them out. We always have to give. We can afford a dime. We can afford, that's all we can afford this year. We can afford something. Remember, boys, as long as you live, that you will always find people or situations where they need it more than you do, and give whatever you can. And if you don't even have a dime, like we had a dime, that's all we have this year to be able to do it with. Dedicate your time. And boys, you could do in the United States of America, because we're first generation American.
Yeah.
She came over from Greece on the boat. Whatever you want to do, if you believe in yourself and are kind to people along the way. And boy, was that something that stuck with me for my whole life, my friend.
Yeah, well, it's crazy that you learned about the power of giving back at such a young age. And
definitely.
it showed throughout your life career
From
as
mom.
well.
From mom.
Yeah, from mom. I think that's really cool. And you know, you really are like the epitome in a lot of ways of this like rags to riches story. And so, you know, as little you, maybe the one putting that dime in the bucket, or even maybe as you got a little older as a young adult almost figuring out the world, did you ever foresee life panning out the way it has? You know, as you addressed, you're a philanthropist, you have co-founded billion-dollar companies that people are familiar with, like Patron and Paul Mitchell and all these incredible things. So like, did little you ever think it would go the way it has?
No. Didn't even dream of it.
Yeah.
Didn't even know, my friend, that it existed, because I come from absolutely nothing. And that was part of why Success Unshared is Failure was written. To give people hope that have nothing, that have struggled, that have been fired from lots of jobs like I have, okay, that here's the way around it. Here's how to take a different approach. And when you start with nothing, here's how to do it. Or if you have a company now and you're losing personnel, well, maybe you didn't manage them properly. Here's how to do it with kindness so you don't have that kind of a turnover. In other words, it's a how to do it. And I did it, and you could do it today easier than I did. And that was one of my big motivations going through all the things I went through, the negative things, the positive things. I mean, a lot of stuff along the way, but you could do it. You know, there's hope. And especially for those that say there is no hope, you can't do it today. Only the rich people can do it. We can't do it. And I was brought on TV a few years ago. JP, you're going to represent the 1%. I said, okay. So I went back to New York, worldwide TV, and they said, well, JP, how does the 1% look at this compared to Occupy Wall Street? I said, well, first of all, you have it wrong. I'm the 1% and I'm the 99%. It's we, the people of the United States of America. The dream is so true still. And if those that are, posting, let's occupy Wall Street, and they are, right? If they knew the dream is possible today and that people like me could make it and how we made it, my God, they'd say, oh my gosh, instead of protesting, let's just do it. The American dream really works. Sometimes on TV, people get really polarized with the wrong message that America's no good, only so many people do, and they run everything. That's not true.
You can get your very own copy of Success Unshared is Failure now on Amazon, online, and in your local bookstore.
The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Advanced Pain Care. Jim Z. Watson, Personal Injury Director, and Dr. Raymond Yu, Pain Management Specialist, are here to talk about letters of protection and how they impact personal injury patients, as well as how Advanced Pain Care can help. So Jim Z, we're coming to you first. What is a letter of protection?
Yes, a letter of protection is an agreement between the medical provider and the law firm, ensuring that the patient can receive treatment with no out-of-pocket costs at the time of service.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, Dr. Yu, Advanced Pain Care offers multiple specialties under one roof. How does your collaborative approach improve patient care and recovery?
So that is one of our biggest advantages. Having multiple specialties in one roof, we can coordinate care timely and efficiently. We prevent the need for our patients to travel everywhere, having to coordinate their own care, finding different specialists. So we try to bring everyone under one roof and try to make it as easy and efficient for our patients. So some specialties we have include neurosurgery, neurology, physical therapy, rheumatology. Along with that, we have different locations and multiple locations along the Austin and greater Austin area. So that prevents the need for traveling to a lot of places or far distance places.
What are some of the most common injuries you see after motor vehicle accidents, and why is early treatment so important?
Yeah, so the most common or more common injuries we typically see are disc herniations and whiplash-related injuries. These are more common in the neck and back areas, as they are the most, they usually absorb the most force after an impact. However, it also depends on the type of injuries they have, the type or severity of the accident. They can also have other areas that are painful. Knees, shoulders are pretty common complaint.
What sets Advanced Pain Care apart when it comes to helping personal injury patients to get the care they need and quickly?
Advanced Pain Care is committed to making the process as easy and stress-free as possible for the patients. We understand that after an accident or injury that the patients are in pain, they're having insurance concerns or legal matters, and it is our goal to make sure that we can cut out as many barriers as possible for them.
We don't want the problem to become chronic. Chronic pain can lead to a lot of distress. Besides physical pain, it can also lead to emotional distress. And even down the line, it can prevent you from enjoying your hobbies, doing your daily work, or even your house chores. So again, our goal is to ensure that we get the right treatment for the patients to go back to their normal daily lives and activities as quickly and as safely as possible for our patients.
We appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Learn more at austinpaindoctor.com. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Advanced Pain Care. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Toyota of Cedar Park. Y'all, the 9th annual Stuff the Truck shoe drive to help kids in need is underway. Rochelle Grossman with Toyota of Cedar Park and Thaisa Holloway with Hill Country Community Ministries are here to tell us more. Thaisa, we're starting with you. This is the 9th year that Toyota of Cedar Park has participated. How important is this partnership to you?
It is so important. We are, as you mentioned, this is our 9th year doing Stuff the Truck. It's been with us for 12 years as far as doing the distribution piece of it. But we started this as a fundraiser because when we first started doing this, we were only giving about 200 or 300 pairs of shoes. Now we're giving out well over 1,000 pairs of shoes every summer.
Unfortunately, I know the need is higher now than ever as well. Rochelle, I want to ask you, what keeps Toyota of Cedar Park coming back, donating and participating year after year?
Yeah, well, if you all go back to when you were a kid, right, and you remember what it was like to start that school year with a new pair of shoes, and like Thaisa said, unfortunately, for so many students right here in our local area, they don't have that advantage. And so when Thaisa came to us many, many years ago and said, hey, would you guys be willing to participate and join hands with us? We said, absolutely. And it's really become one of our most beloved events. We take up a big collection. All the employees willingly contribute. Then we go out and buy a bunch of new name brand sneakers. And then Thaisa will share a little bit more about the event and how we get the high schoolers involved. But what a win-win.
Rochelle, I understand Toyota is also encouraging the community to participate, but you guys are also giving away free oil and filter change coupons?
Absolutely. I got one here. Awesome. So yeah, of course we're doing this because we want to do it and from our entire team's participation. But we thought, let's encourage the community to also donate. And the way we would like to say thank you is if you bring a pair of new shoes to Toyota of Cedar Park, we're going to give you one of these coupons so you can have an oil change on us.
Talk to us about the event coming up on the 16th. Who's invited? Who participates?
We actually, right before school starts, all 6 Leander ISD high schools get involved, and they basically play minute to win it games or any sort of games. And they have the opportunity to earn shoes.
The simple act of a new pair of shoes, just enhancing a child's self-esteem and starting that school year right, has so many benefits. And we really just feel honored to participate year after year. And our goal this year is even bigger. We're at like 1,300. We're going to help a lot of folks this year.
Thank you both so much for your time.
You're so welcome. Thank you, Rosie.
Yes, thank you so much.
Take donations to Toyota of Cedar Park through July 16th. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Toyota of Cedar Park. We have a lot of fun here on Studio 512. If you missed any of our great segments, be sure to check out our website where we like to post the fun things we do. Our feed covers content like arts and entertainment, food and drink, fashion and beauty, home and garden, stuff for kids and pets, as well as information from area experts. In addition, you can check out web-exclusive content that you can only find on Studio512TV.com. We also love to post behind-the-scenes funny moments, outfit inspirations, and more on social media. Find us by searching for Studio 512 on your favorite platform.